Today, we will delve into mysteries that time and tide have left behind. We will navigate the somber waters of the Detroit River and uncover the stories of unidentified individuals, John Does, whose lives ended in obscurity between 1968 and 2015. The Detroit River, a gateway and a grave. The Detroit River, a vital artery connecting the Great Lakes, has long been a witness to history. From the early days of indigenous trade routes to the bustling industrial era, this 28-mile strait has seen it all. But beneath its surface lies a darker narrative. The river has been both a giver of life and a keeper of secrets, with its currents occasionally surrendering the remains of those whose identities remain unknown. The numbers. Between 1968 and 2015, at least 8 unidentified bodies were recovered from the Detroit River during the month of June alone. These cases span decades, each representing a person whose name, story, and loved ones are missing from the records. The Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office processes approximately 3,000 cases annually, with a portion remaining unclaimed or unidentified. The June John Does. June is typically the month when springtime temperatures hit the metro Detroit area, which means there are more people in downtown Detroit near the river. More people means more eyes watching and observing the beautiful and powerful Detroit River. This could be a reason why we have several does that are recovered in the month of June. Case profiles. Detroit was experiencing turbulence throughout the year of 1968. In April, the Detroit race riots took place, causing a permanent wound that the city would never completely heal from. But on June 8, 1968, the Detroit Tigers beat the Cleveland Indians, winning the World Series. This event worked as a healing balm, bringing all races of the city together to celebrate the town's beloved baseball team's victory. But the next day, a disturbing discovery would be made in the Detroit River. Near historic Fort Wayne, the body of a white male was found. It was believed that the man had been in the water for about a week. His body was too decomposed for site identification, and his death is listed as a homicide. He wore black rubbers over his brown shoes and had a gold tone ring on his left ring finger that had a white stone. He was wearing a blue pea coat, black pants, a black shirt over a gray shirt, and long johns. Unfortunately, the information regarding this doe is scant. The report indicates that the man had gray or partially gray hair, was 5 feet 7 inches, and weighed about 195 pounds. His age was estimated between 55 to 65 years old. Anyone with information concerning this case should call Detroit Police at 313-596-1800. The 1983 June John Does. In 1983, Michigan was grappling with the murder of Vincent Chin, a Chinese-American who was beaten to death at a strip club by a Chrysler plant supervisor and his stepson because they thought Chin was Japanese. The Michigan PBB scandal was in court, and the city of Detroit was continuing to decline. On June 15, 1983, the body of a white male was recovered from the Detroit River behind the Detroit Free Press building. He was unrecognizable due to decomposition. He was wearing a light blue jacket, a greenish corduroy jacket, a blue, gray, and red checkered shirt, blue jeans, and gray underwear. There were hand warmers in the pockets of one of the jackets. He was estimated to be between 40 to 50 years old, 190 pounds, and 5 feet 9 inches. That is the extent of the information available on this case. That same day, another man's body was recovered from the Detroit River. Like the previous body, decomposition made site identification impossible. A white male was found floating near Joseph Campo Avenue, and his age was estimated to be between 20 to 30 years old, and he was 5 feet 9 inches and 155 pounds. He was wearing a green khaki Kmart brand coat, a dark blue jacket with a zipper, and a black synthetic long-sleeve shirt that was size 15-33. Now, the information I found stated that he was wearing a blue jean jacket, and the brand tag read Lion. His pants were gray with Scott written on the inside, and he was wearing underwear briefs that had Lewis 31854 written on them. One sock was blue, gray, and the other was tan, and he was wearing slip-on, woven-styled size 7.5 shoes. 15 days later, on June 30th, 1983, another body was found in the Detroit River near Helen Street. A black male, estimated to be between 15 to 25-year-old, was retrieved from the river. Decomposition had already set in, which complicated identification. He was 5 feet 6 inches, had black hair, and had 2 gold chains around his neck. Authorities weren't able to determine his weight. The chains were fine and yellow gold tone links. He was wearing dark brown pants but was not wearing shoes or a shirt. Sadly, that is all the information given for this young man. The 1990 June Doe. On June 14th, 1990, there was a riot in Detroit after the Detroit Pistons beat the Portland Trailblazers in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. There were 8 deaths and several injuries associated with this event. 3 days later, on June 17th, 1990, the body of a black male was found downriver from Lake St. Clair. His body was decomposed to a point where site identification wasn't possible. It was estimated that he'd been in the water for days, and his age was estimated to be between 30 to 40 years of age. His height was 5 feet 10 inches, and he weighed 215 pounds. He was only wearing white underwear and white socks when he was found. His fingernails were long, and he had black hair, a mustache, and brown eyes. There was also a scar on his left wrist and a mole on his right thigh. Anyone with information should call the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. The 1994 June Doe. On June 11th, 1994, there was a tragic plane crash at the Selfridge Air Show at Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Harrison Township, Michigan. That may be why the news about the body of a white male, estimated to be between 35 to 45 years of age, being recovered from the Detroit River, slipped through the cracks. The man was 5 feet 8 inches, weighed 141 pounds, and it was estimated that he died sometime in 1993 or 1994. His body was decomposed, which complicated site identification. It is believed that the man was from another country, possibly Russia, due to the fact that he had 2 Moscow subway tokens and a lighter found near the body. The man had brown hair and brown eyes. He was wearing Levi's and brown sweatpants that contained a Chinese laundry mark, which is a mark used by Chinese laundries to identify customers' clothes, a black t-shirt, and a blue sweatshirt pullover. Also, his shoes were size 24 EE, which is a foreign measurement for footwear. He also was wearing a belt. The 2006 June Doe. News headlines announced that the UAW could not survive in June 2006. And while the United Auto Workers Union would persevere, it would no longer be the juggernaut it had been in previous decades. Detroit was ailing from years of economic decline, and the worst was yet to come. And on June 8th, 2006, the city was dealt another blow when the body of a black male was found near Belle Isle Harbor Master Station. His body was significantly decomposed, making it impossible to identify him by sight. His age was estimated to be between 40 and 60. He weighed 190 pounds, and he died in 2005 or 2006. The man had black hair he wore in a very short cut, and he had brown eyes. The 2015 June Doe. In 2015, Detroit was making a comeback from its infamous 2013 bankruptcy, while the city of Flint was coming to terms with the mismanagement of their drinking water and the subsequent lead poisoning of residents. And like so many previous Junes, a body was found in the Detroit River. This time, the victim was a white male between the ages of 40 to 70, and police believe he died sometime in 2014 or 2015. His face was clean-shaven, and he had gray or partially gray hair that was cut short on the sides and longer on top. He was wearing a white and blue striped button-up shirt, Hermes brand black leather loafers, and dark wash Diesel Industries jeans. The Unsolved Puzzle. It is no secret that for decades, Detroit has had one of the highest homicide rates in the United States. The city itself has shrunk to a little more than 600,000 residents, but the boundaries remain the same, and the Detroit River, that mighty strait that ties the Great Lakes together, continues to keep its secrets. Identifying these individuals is a complex challenge. Factors such as decomposition, lack of personal identifiers, and historical limitations in forensic technology have all contributed to the mystery. However, advancements in DNA analysis and forensic genealogy offer renewed hope. For instance, in 2025, the remains of a woman found in an abandoned Detroit house in 2006 were identified as Darylyn Washington through advanced DNA testing, linking her to a known serial killer. Why it matters. Every unidentified person represents a family left in limbo, searching for answers. Beyond the personal tragedies, there's a societal imperative to acknowledge and remember these individuals. They remind us of the vulnerabilities within our communities and the importance of vigilance, compassion, and collective responsibility. As we conclude today, let's reflect on the lives behind the statistics and the stories left untold. If you have any information about unidentified individuals or missing persons, please contact local authorities or visit the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, NamUs, to provide tips. Together, we can help bring closure to families and honor those who have been forgotten by time. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, stay curious and compassionate.